I also have compressors, limiters on my DAWs and other gears, but I never really have much interaction with them. I just put them on, tweak one thing or two, and then just leave it as it is. I have a compressor now, an FMR Audio RNLA, so I hope this will change that. So yes, one of the first things that I was really excited about when I got this compressor was the sidechain. Ideally, the sidechain is, instead of having the main source of the audio triggering the compression, they need to have some additional source. In this case, I have the innovation circuit and then the SP404 Mark II. The SP404 Mark II is the main, let's say, device audio source, and then the innovation circuit will be the sidechain trigger. So I got everything hooked up right now. It was very helpful, the FAQ of FMR's audio routing. So I have this beat. This was a beat that I was making when I was talking about like performance and stuff like this. On the Novation, I would just create 4 to the floor kick patterns. And the cool thing with this setup is that the master volume from the Novation, or like the side chaining trigger for the compressor, can also adjust the kind of level of output, which is, I guess, normal because you're just outputting the signal. But anyway, so this is the track. I'll remove the kick. So right now everything is bypassed. As I'm increasing the Novation's master volume, you can see that there is like a little blink on the indicators for a gain reduction. Still bypassed though, so you don't hear the sidechain pumping effect. But if I bypass, so now you can hear it. So if I, because I was playing around with this, so this is the setting that I had earlier, but let's say if I just adjust the releases, the attack. So right now I have the least amount of pumping, I guess, because I have very slow attack. But if I do kind of some sort of extreme setting, the log reel, I'm not sure I fully understand the way they explain it through the user guide, but to my ears, which are not that experienced, I would say, but through my ears, it seems like the log reel adds more low end. So now it's on the log reel, and now it's not on the log reel. Can you hear the difference? Alright, so let's move on to some other things. I would try to test other beats through with this. So for instance, I have this beat right here with the compressor bypassed. So I would say something like this would be perhaps a good sounding. So let's maybe activate the log reel. So you hear that there seems to be a kind of a good amount of low end when you activate the log reel, which adds definitely some characters, which kind of poses the question, why did I get this? So I guess the simple answer would be that it is the most affordable that I can get at this time. But even for that, because I was doing some research about this, I saw that some of the producers and the artists that I really like had an FMR at some point. I never heard this. I never went to a place where I can hear it. And even if I did, I'm not sure my ears are kind of well trained enough to see the distinction. Right now I do see some distinctions. But also, as from what I read on the internet, just a small comparison between the
RNC.
the RNLA. There seems to be some sort of consensus that this seems to be more of a colorful compressor. I wanted to have colors. I wanted to have texture. I wanted to have something with my productions. So yes, affordability and color. So let's test on something that is that has a little bit more like kick into it. So for instance, I have this beat. And of course, when you process sounds, I would say that it's not always what you hear when you make the beat that is going to be the end product. So for example, in this beat, again, it might depend on how you hear it through YouTube, but this beat has a lot of, like, the kick is very kind of has a big low end. And I like it as it is. Off the bat, the kick's kind of low end has disappeared. So this sort of use case is what I would hopefully get something back from the log reel. So let's see. Okay, I kind of like that. There is the low end from the kick kind of comes back. Here is another beat. So this is, I mean, some of these beats you probably heard on my channel already. If not, please, because I do like low end. That's why also one of the reasons I picked this up is low end. I like a lot of low ends. I don't necessarily add low ends manually when it comes to like really sampling. If it's like an 808 or on a house type of thing, then I would eventually add, but I like the bass from the sample to kind of shine through, or the kick. So yes. As I'm tweaking these knobs, I'm getting something good, man, like this. This doesn't really have a lot of compressions, but yes. And the log reel gets it there. One thing about this compressor, at least this box, that was kind of appealing to me was that how approachable it is. It's just 5 knobs and then 2 buttons, and then you have the indicators. You have some small markings in here and there, but sometimes it's visually, this seems to be more approachable to me, at least. So yes, let's try some other beats. So here is a really cool loop. I really like this. This is kind of like going outside of the, I guess, stuff that you hear. There is no kick, there is no snare, there is no heavy high end other than the sample and the bass. You see, so there is nothing much. So I'm kind of curious how this compressor will kind of handle all of that. So a little low ratio. I guess a more extreme setting. I kind of like this. And then when you add the log reel, it's kind of still come back to that kind of heavy low end stuff. So yes, I also really like this beat. Alright, so I guess it's time to try some stuff on Logic. So this beat has a very distinct kick, very heavy kick. Let's hear it out. Extreme setting. I think this is something that I will be happy, I think. Wait. Something like this, perhaps. Let's engage the low growl. So yes, I kind of like this with very heavy kick. It sounds alright, I think. Maybe some little mixing and stuff like this, but it sounds alright, I think. Let's try something else. Now here is a little cool beat that I really like. Again, it's a very low end bass, and I'm kind of curious because when I was making this beat, or like when I was putting this together, I had some trouble with the low end. And especially when I add some stuff on top of it, like a compressor and stuff like this, had a very big trouble with the low end. So let's hear it. Maybe this will fix that. As you can hear, very heavy bass. The bass is kind of the kick. I mean, there is no real kick. And there is not a lot of high ends here. And when it's activated, this was a fun beat. I still love this beat. A 2-minute reduction, I guess. And low growl. Yeah. The low growl seems to be the good options in some tracks. I did test in others, and I'm still a little bit iffy about it. Where I'm planning to put this, eventually I'm not necessarily looking for this to be kind of a middle device, so like running the device through it and then coming back. My first idea was to have this as some sort of an end of chain mixer processing, because I did explain in my video about audio processing that I'm not missing devices that make sounds, I'm missing devices that makes the sounds better. That's my idea, to make this at kind of the end of chain of everything. If you have any ideas, experience, thoughts, let me know. Let us know in the comments. But yes, I really like this. One thing that was a little bit, I guess, kind of not necessarily a disappointment, but something that was really looking forward to, and then I was like, maybe the sidechain. I'm still kind of getting used to the sidechain, but yes, the sidechain is so far is not my favorite part of this box. I think the compression overall, the way it colors the sounds, from what I can hear at least, is really cool. The low growl, I really like the low growl. Really nice compressor. Really RNLA. Potentially I have more thoughts on this as I'm kind of making stuff. I've been making beats with it for a while, since I got it. More thoughts to come. I'll think about maybe doing some sort of comparison at some point, because even though I do moving forward to kind of these boxes, I mean, as intimidating as they are, the DAW's plugin compressors does a good job. The SP404's compressors does a good job. So yes, that's all my thoughts on the RNLA. Thank you for watching, and then I'll catch you on the next one.